Let the chips fall where they may. Now, this video here, it's talking about the things that we're dealing with. Of course, it's dealing with hair, this video. But when I say let the chips fall where they may, it's a reason why I'm saying that. A lot of us are dealing with, and I think I shared with you guys, I shared with you guys a couple of weeks ago how I was dealing with my hair loss. I did a chemical service, and then I did something else to it, a color to it, 2 chemical services, and those 2 collided, and my hair went haywire, and I had to bring it down to that pH balance of 5, a pH balance of 5 to soften my hair so it can stop the damage, the dryness, and the breakage. And a lot of times when we are dealing with hair issues and breakage, and this is hair loss, they're both the same. But this one is a chemical. A lot of times it's chemicals that we're dealing with. So with this one, and hi, I am Lee Hill, your hair coach. And this is Ask a Cosmetologist channel. But a lot of times when we're dealing with chemicals, we may be doing things that cause our hair to fall. And I want to talk about the downfall of that, and where I'm really going to tell you the honest to God truth about what happens. There's not a happy ending to that situation. So a lot of times, if you are experiencing where you're getting dressed and you see them chips of hair on your clothes, you wake up in the morning and you see all that breakage on your hair and your pillows, on your sheets and different things like that, most likely think back to what may have transpired. Now, it's several reasons why that may be happening. It could be that you have dry hair, dry scalp, dry hair, and your hair is just breaking off. Or it could be, a lot of you do this, where your hair is growing and you're like, oh, my hair is long, but you don't cut your ends. I don't know why you do that, because that's dead hair. So when you don't cut your ends, the split just keeps going up, and the shorter part, it just breaks off. So when you actually flat iron your hair, and you may think like, oh, girl, your hairstylist may say, girl, your hair in the middle of your back. Well, it might be in the middle of your back, but by the time she need to cut off all that dead hair, it might be at the top of your back. Because that hair is so not necessary anymore. You can hold on to it, but it's the worst thing you can do, because when you don't trim your ends, that split just keeps going higher and higher and higher, and it defeats the purpose of you growing out the new beautiful hair, because the bottom part, you still holding on to the old. Like some of these relationships, look at me now, I had to jump on that. What I got to do with this? But we'll hold on to the old, women, and we got the new coming in, and we're scared to let go of the familiar and let the new come on in. But we got to cut off that old. You know what I mean? So those are some of the reasons why you may be dealing with that. The split ends, you're not trimming your hair, or it's dryness. You're not moisturizing your hair, especially if your hair is always in braids. It's super dry when you take that out. And then if your hair is in extensions and things like that, and it never gets a breather, it's definitely going to be dry. Even if you come in and you do a wash and style, and your stylist may put different things to relieve, like they may do a tea tree shampoo, different things while you still may have the extensions in. Yeah, they might be able to get to some of your scalp, but they're not getting to all of your scalp. And then that hair is tied in a lot of times with the braided hair, which we found out is has what's the word, carnogen, right? So we know that braiding hair has that, and other chemicals to get that hair to look like your texture, right? So because you have that intertwined in it, it is definitely drying out the strands of your hair, because you're braiding chemicals within that hair. So even if before you get it braided up, or before you sew it down or whatever, you may be one of those people, which is good. You're trying, like, hey, I'm going to try to maintain my hair. You may get a treatment done. You may get it shampooed and everything. But to be honest, it's a waste of time. And y'all like, whoa. Yeah, this one of those videos. I got to keep it real. It's a waste of time to even do the treatments and everything, because once you start sewing up and putting that other chemical hair on your hair, and they're all chemicaled, Even when they tell you it's natural, it has to go through a process. I know I was a brand manager for a guy that had it, and he took me through the whole process of how they get the hair to Brazilian hair and all those different things. I'm not going to go to that side, but I can. So when I'm speaking about it, I'm not speaking about it because I read it on somewhere. I'm speaking about it because I have experienced it, and I couldn't sell his product anymore because I understood the damages that it was doing to our hair. There are other places that you can buy extensions now that are vegan. I think they have vegan extensions and different things like that. Do your research on it, but the less chemicals, the better your hair is. So now you have those different things. So when you're taking your hair down, a lot of us say, you know what, I'm gonna give my hair a break. That'd be like 2 weeks, a week. Some of you guys even go further as a month. So you wash your hair, you do your treatment, and then you go right in after you done took that down. Your hair may be tied up for 2, 3, some of you guys 4 to 6 months. Then you take it down, and then you wash it, you put the treatment on it, then you turn around and say, you know what, flat iron my hair, I want a silk wrap. So, and hopefully you do your trimmings. But if you're not doing your trimmings, that is a hot mess. So you go ahead and you do all of these things. Then you take it down, you wash it, your hairstylists do the treatment in it to build up your bonds. Your hair is very, very weak. The worst thing you can do is go in and put a lot of heat. So make sure, just do it in moderation. But what happens after they put the heat and they flat iron it, your hair doesn't stay that way for long. And because you're so used to getting those extensions and braids, you lose patience. And so you're like, my hair not acting right. When I go home and wash it, I have a video I did last week on how to get your hair looking like you went to the salon. So please check that video out. But a lot of you are, once you see that your hair won't flat iron like your hairstylist has done, and it don't look pretty or whatever, you say, my hair not acting right, it just do what it want to do, and then you go put some more extensions in it. But your hair is not acting right because it's not used to just being on its own. So you have to train it. You have to have the patience for your hair to get it to that place. All right. So those are some of the reasons. Now, let's talk about the real deal. And I'm almost done with this video, believe it or not. If you are one of those women that are y'all want to be the platinum blonde and the blondes and even like, you know what I mean? You want to do the dimensional colors and different things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that when you're doing that, sometimes you will overprocess your hair. A lot of us go on these YouTube videos, even if you have short hair, you go on these YouTube videos with these kitchen hairstylists that have no degrees. They may be natural. They may know how to braid hair or whatever, but they didn't take the time to invest in themselves long enough to go to school to get the proper license to understand we don't just style hair. We have to understand the textures of hair. We have to understand the chemicals that we're applying to that person's hair. We have to understand the outcome of that hair, right? Based on the chemicals that we do to get you to the place where you're trying to be. It's a lot more than, girl, just slap this on. So I've seen where hairstylists or whoever, or YouTubers, some of the YouTube hairstylists that go on there and they say, I use a 40 volume with a bleach. Y'all, let me say this really quick. If you are one of those people that are using 40 volume with a bleach, that's like the bleach is the fire, and that 40 volume, you squeeze that on and mix that up, and you put it to that hair, especially those ends. If you got long hair, done, okay, right? And then the worst kind is when you got the short hair and you put that on yours. Here, your scalp has heat. This is where your brain is. This is your scalp. You got the bone that's protecting it, but your brain is there. So it's heat. So if you ever notice, if you do something like that and you put that color at that root first, it is going to turn brighter than the other hair. So you always have to process, just like when we do a relaxer. You do a relaxer, they tell you to add it to the strands of the hair, and then when the strands of the hair have processed to the texture that you want, then you go to the root, because the root straightens fast, guys, because that's where your brain is, right? So, and I'm not talking to you trying to be condescending, please don't think that, but I just need us to wake up and see, when you're seeing those videos, it really disheartens me to see so many people on there saying, oh, what volume, what's this, oh, how you did that or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So again, a short-term decision that's going to affect you in the long haul. So why am I breaking this down? I'm talking about this because if you're doing something like that, and once you wash that hair, because you got to let it process and get to the color you want. Most of the time, if you're a black woman, a lot of Hispanic women too, it will go to, I see a lot of Hispanic, they have like orangey, right? And then you have, because they want to get it high, but it may not go that high. That's because you should only be lifting your hair at least 4 levels. So if you are on there and you are trying to bleach it so you can get to level 10 and you at level 1, you got bi-color hair, and you're trying to get level 10, a blonde, and I know y'all like, what is she saying? If you're trying to get from a black to a blonde, you're done. So what happens is when you rinse your hair out, it feels strawy. If it feels strawy, let the chips fall where they may, because that's how they feel, like little chips. They feel bristly. They feel like little straws. Your hair is fried. It's a difference between what I did when I was telling you I had those two chemicals collide. They collided because I wasn't doing anything like what I'm telling you now. It was a black color, right? But it was the actual relaxer. It wasn't the color in the relaxer, because the color was a deposit. It wasn't the relaxer. It was the relaxer combining with the alcohol that I was putting in my hair that was causing the breakage and dryness. So I was able to fix that. That's where the products that I told you about, you have to watch that video I told you about, that gives you back your hair. Your hair stop breaking. I can't think of it. I always forget the name of this thing, y'all, but it's on there. It's what I did to stop my hair from breaking off. That video is going to tell you the product. I cannot remember. I'm so sorry, guys. And so what was I saying? I'm saying that, so what you're doing, you're actually frying your hair. It's putting gasoline on fire. So now your hair's, and then they have this thing. I see some of the commercials with these high, and that have brought a lot of our black salon, they have brought a lot, let me slow down. They have brought a lot of our black products, and it's under their thing, and they do these commercials and say, for damaged hair, just put this shampoo and conditioner and it's going to stop. If you put a 40 and bleach, and when you washed it out, it felt like straws, let the chips fall where they may. Go ahead and cut it off. It is not going to change. It's not going to hold. If you try to put a toner on it, which is the rinse, if you're trying to get a red, it's not going to hold it. When you see it's fading out like that, your hair is done. There's no more, it can't hold anything, because you stripped it out of everything and then you over processed it. And it's the same thing goes for relaxers. Some people will put that relaxer on, comb it out, comb it till it's whatchamacallit, and it's a process time and everything. And if you're not a person that know about this, and you go and it's a process time and you just keep combing through it, if you were a person that understood that, oh, if I don't take this out now, her hair gonna start breaking off, and you let that relaxer sit on because you're trying to get it bone straight, you're already gonna get it bone straight once you get it to the texture it needs to be. It don't have to be bone all the way straight, but you get it to that texture and you rinse that hair out. You're gonna put heat to it and everything. Why take it to that level? So when you see this happens and that hair's bristle, don't let no hairstylist tell you you can hold on to that hair. They need to cut that off. And I have seen it. I'm like looking at the people, I'm like, what she did? And I see some people, they will bleach. They need to touch them, they bleach, and you see the ends already broken off and shed it real bad, and they will run that bleach right over the top of it like it's okay. And they say, I'm giving her a haircut. You have to give her a haircut because they've lost their hair. So when I say let the chips fall where they may, literally, I mean it. There is no coming back from that. Cut your hair. Please, ladies, please. I say this with so much love. You got to start treating your hair and your body like you love it. It's a statement. I know y'all don't see it. If I see a woman walking around with a bonnet on her head, or a hair touch, and her hair is not combed or whatever, if a man sees that, if anybody sees that, I already know that she don't care how she come out. She might be a pretty face, and some people be like that. Well, I'm pretty. I ain't got to prove nothing to y'all, because when I fix myself up, I'm good. You're teaching people how to treat you. You're teaching yourself. And people see like, she don't care nothing about herself. She's not taking care of herself. Look at her hair, all these different things. You're teaching people how to treat you. You gotta care about your hair, ladies. We have to care about our bodies. We have to care about how we go outside. We have to care about if we have little ones that's watching us, whether they're little girls or little boys. Because little boys are gonna grow up one day and marry somebody that they want to look like you. And if you ain't take care of yourself and you was whatever it may be, guess what? That's what he's gonna think a woman is about. We have so many beautiful qualities about ourselves as women, and we have to first, if you're a woman that's looking for a good relationship, you want to attract the right kind of man, if you're a woman that just want to be in love with herself, right, and you're trying to restore yourself, maybe you went through some things and you're trying to heal and you want to be the best you can be before you get into any relationship, or you just want to be the best you can be without even thinking about a relationship, whatever the case may be. If you don't start with yourself and taking care of yourself and having pride in yourself, nobody else will. You will be one of these people on YouTube talking about how people treat you so bad. But then I'm looking at you and I'm like, well, baby, we got to do something about this. Start with you. You want to teach people how to treat you good? It's not by you buying them things and showing them how you love them. It's by showing people how you love yourself. So I pray, guys, this video helps you. I know it hurt a little bit, but I had to say what I had to say. There's no magic potion. Cut the hair off. It's dead. It's gone. I pray that this video blesses you. Again, thank you all for liking, sharing. Please, if you have stories about this, because I know I'm not talking crazy, please talk about the stories, because it helps somebody that may be thinking about it or has done it and walking in shame and making it the help that they need to restore their hair back. All right, I pray this video blesses you all. Thank you again. I will see you guys next video. Bye.